Hello. I'm just taking a walk again here in the moors where I love to be. And earlier I had a Zoom call again, and it made me think about something that seems to come up quite a lot lately. Maybe it's not a coincidence, because it comes up for myself as well, because I'm in that age right now where I'm entering my menopause. And a lot of women come to see me since a while now, really, because of menopausal issues. And what strikes me really is that menopause isn't really ever seen as something good. And I want to address that, because why is it not something good that we are changing into a different phase of our life? And what is that phase of our life that we are changing into? Because we are taught often in our society that, we have to be, especially as women, our task in life is to look beautiful, to be productive, to have children, to work, to have families. And what if that phase is over? What if that phase, which is in Ayurveda, it's the pitta phase of our life, the productive phase, what if that's over? What's afterward? And in our society now, it seems that there's not much afterward. We're just losing things. We're losing our beauty, we're losing our meaning in life. The children are moving out, we're losing our identity as mothers, we're losing a lot. And men are not looking at us as much, and isn't that the meaning of our life? To be beautiful and to have children and to be mothers. And even if we work, if it's our career that we identify with, also that is slowing down. And so of course it becomes a difficult time. And plus, we don't feel well. Let's face it, it's often connected with sleeplessness and with hot flushes and all sorts of issues. But what is happening really, when we look at it in the big picture, the first phase in our life, like that, this transformational phase that we go through when we're young, our adolescence, that's also a transformational phase. And it's also not pretty, it's not difficult, it's not easy, because we all remember we get spots and we get angry, and all the fire, all the pitta is coming up, because we need fire for transformation. Fire rises. Why does fire rise? Why do we get fevers? To burn toxins away. So also in any transformational phase, we burn toxins away, we burn the negative, we get rid of all of that we don't need anymore. It's a big cleanup, really. Like when we have our menstruation, every month is a big cleanup, and our body cleanses itself, literally. And we all know that it's not only the stuff that comes out physically, but it's also the emotions that come out of us. And it's all, we know, so well how we get a little bit maybe irritable, to say the least, sometimes. Sometimes we get, more whingy and crying easily, and sometimes we get angry, or whatever our personality is. And the people around us sometimes think, oh my God, she's irrational because she has her period. But what is it really? It's a big cleanse. We're cleansing ourselves of all the stored emotions that we haven't dealt with over the last month, or maybe longer. And we can not lie to ourselves when we have our period. When we have our period, then if we haven't dealt with something, if we swallowed down something before, if our husband has, put the coffee in the wrong place again and again, and we've swallowed and we haven't said anything, well, that's when it will come out. And poor husband, but that's how it is. And of course, the more aware we are of these things, the easier we can deal with those things. We can stay controlled and make sure that we're not doing anything or saying anything unfair, but yet we have to respect it as well. It's a beautiful function of our body and mind to cleanse itself, to rid itself from all sorts of old issues, so that we can start that next phase clean and new. And that happens, like I said, every month when we have our period. Every month we have the chance to clean ourselves up and start new, and that's a beautiful thing. We don't have to disguise it, and we don't have to, take painkillers and pretend nothing is happening and go to work and play tennis and all of that. We can just, honor it and respect it as what it really is. It's a phase of detoxifying and cleansing. So if you feel like staying in bed and just watching movies, that's okay. And if you feel like going for a run, that's okay too, because we have to just simply be aware of what it is that we and our body needs in that phase. And then when we go through the bigger transformations like adolescence or menopause, that's a big cleanup, and it lasts longer. It's a really big cleanup, and it gets us ready again for the next phase. And what is that next phase? Well, the next phase is a beautiful, really beautiful phase. It's a phase where we stop being productive in that sense. We stop producing material things. We stop producing work or babies. It's butterflies everywhere. It's so beautiful. But instead, we produce spiritual things. We begin to produce beauty for the world. Maybe we start to be creative. A lot of us start creative endeavors just intuitively. We want to start painting, writing a book, or play the piano or something like that. That happens intuitively when we get into that phase. It's the Vata phase of life. We can now eliminate. It's the elimination phase as well. It's not anymore the productive phase. When we're children, it's the Kapha phase. We take things in, we grow, we assimilate things, we learn things. Pitta phase, we transform the world, we are productive. And in the Vata phase, we eliminate, we give back. We teach the rest of the world. We teach our children, our grandchildren. We tell stories to them, but also everybody else who is younger. We help them and we teach them, and we become the guardians of the world. And there's a beautiful idea, that when we eat, everything is digestion. So when we eat, we digest everything, and then we eliminate it again. And the elimination, our waste products, they are not really waste products. They feed the ground for other things to grow. And each creature's waste products become the food for another type of being. Like the waste products of a tree is our breath we need to live. And the waste products, the subtle waste products of our mind, our stories, our art, our music, becomes the food for the gods, or for the subtle, for the devas, for the spiritual beings. And it's a really important phase of life. It's a beautiful phase of life. It's just not really recognized in our society because we're not in a time right now that we can recognize these things, that we can see these things. We only see and grasp material things, really. But I'm sure it's going to change again. We are getting more sensitive again, but it's up to us as well. It's not up to the world to recognize us in this phase of life. It's up to us, first of all, to recognize it, and it's up to us to respect ourselves and to find the beauty in ourselves, even with the with the wrinkles and the falling hair and all sorts of things. To find beauty everywhere around us means that there is beauty inside of us. When we see the beauty around us, then we have all the beauty inside of us as well. So I kind of just wanted to talk about this a little bit to encourage you, if you're going through menopause, or if you're going through adolescence, or if you have a child in adolescence, to see it as something a little bit more positive, really, because it is positive. It's a beautiful thing.